You are listening to
The Outcast Frequency.
an hour of music, myth, and mayhem for the misfits. Hosted by yours truly,
The Master of Mischief.
Well, hello there folks, and welcome back to the Outcast Frequency. I don't know about where you guys live, but the nights are getting darker and a little bit colder now as we trudge through November. Undoubtedly the worst month of the year. So sorry if you have your birthday in November. I know a couple of people who do. It's a pretty depressing month if you ask me, but hey ho, be Christmas soon. And here on the Outcast Frequency, we're hopefully going to warm up your cold dead hearts a bit with some cool and exciting music from the underground scene. So on Sonic Scout Radio, you'll only ever hear unsigned artists, which are of course the ones that need your support the most. So if you do hear a band that you like on this show, please do go follow them on socials or stream their music, because honestly, as an artist myself, I know it does mean the absolute world. So we're going to kick things off with a band called Release the Wolves. Release the Wolves is actually a solo project run by a guy based out of Ireland. He's been releasing music online since 2020 and has a number of records out under the Release the Wolves name. The latest is an album called Rogue, which came out earlier this year. He told us, "I first discovered my love for music at a very young age. I can thank my family for constantly listening to tapes on car journeys." My family used to do that as well. "My first was Bryan Adams, who I loved, Rod Stewart, Bob Seger, and a major influencer was Queen." My God, yeah, Queen, an incredible band, right? Early rock grew within me, and then I discovered Metallica one day, and that changed my life. Wow. As a solo artist, I love writing music and sharing my music with the world. If people can resonate with it, then I feel like I've done a good job. Brilliant. Well, this song is off that latest album, Rogue, and it's called Factory. Let's check it out. That was Factory by Release the Wolves. And if you enjoyed that, you can find lots more of their music on Bandcamp, Spotify, and they also have an Instagram, which is official Release the Wolves. Keeping with the rock vibes, but moving on to a slightly different genre within the awesome and varied world of guitar music, we have a band called Desert Nomos. So I'm not entirely sure if I'm pronouncing the second part correctly. It does have one of those little squiggles over the N, and it's Spanish for gnomes. So Nomos, Desert Nomos. They describe themselves as a desert rock band. They're from Madrid. They do a lot of shows out there. They play a lot of gigs. They have a sort of stoner rock vibe too. They're still fairly new band to the scene, only formed in 2023. They're inspired by bands such as Chaos, Queens of the Stone Age, 1000 Mods, and Slamosa. They like to bring heavy riffs, and raw, magnetic energy, thunderous guitars, scorching winds, pounding drums, and full volume attitude shape their sound. In their Spotify bio, they describe themselves as sounding like rusted metal and endless sand, bodies searching for each other by the fire beneath a desert sky, with miles of asphalt stretching to nowhere. Heavy rock, low-end vibrations, psychedelia, and dust in the lungs. Music made for driving with no destination, windows down, heart beating to something primal. To lay back and let go, or to headbang until everything blurs. So over the course of this year, they've released 3 singles and are paving their way to a full album release, which they're planning for 2026. And the track they wanted to share with the show is called Jewel. This was actually the band's first single. They've had 2 more that they've released since, but this was their debut. And it's a song born from obsession, paranoia, and horsepower. It's inspired by Steven Spielberg's film Jewel and Richard Matheson's original short story, that relentless, dusty chase where a man is hunted down by a faceless truck driver through an endless desert road. That tension, that primal fear of being pursued by something you can't see but can feel closing in. That's what we wanted to capture in sound. The song is our own engine roaring through that same landscape, distorted, raw, and charged with that sense of danger that never lets go. It's about the duel between man and machine, but also the one inside your head, between control and chaos. Let's give it a listen. This is Jewel.
Yeah. the set eagle in my hand. Now you can come by. Fueled by rage, locked in a cage, writing my story page.
That was Jewel by Desert Nomos from Spain. You can follow them on Facebook and on Instagram. Their Instagram username is desert_nomos, GNOMOS. They're on Spotify and all your usual streaming platforms. They also have a YouTube where they post quite a lot of videos from their live shows and performances.
And now it's time for
Chaos Corner.
I'm super excited that we have a Chaos Corner submission for this week. I feel like we haven't had one for a little while. This project that I'm about to tell you about, it's ran by a guy, 23 years old. He's based out of Shenzhen in China. He's a self-taught musician and producer, and he creates sincere, profound, and poetic soundscapes. He goes by the name of Handycam, all one word. He's a brand new artist. He only started releasing music this year. He's dropped a number of singles and EPs on Bandcamp, and most recently a full-length album called Half Frame. The music itself, it is a real mix of stuff. It's super unusual and all over the place in terms of different styles, which is why I decided to pick this artist for Chaos Corner this week. I've checked out the whole album myself, and it really does jump from track to track. There's one song that's like super heavy, and there's screaming and shout singing, and then there's another one that's like spoken word poetry over the top of a sort of soundscape, and it's really eerie. And then there's a slow ballad where he's singing really sweetly, and then there's some weird random jazzy things. There's just loads going on, and this guy obviously doesn't feel like he has to stick to one style to enjoy himself and have fun with his music, which is great. I love it when artists liberate themselves like that and just do whatever they want. So the track that I'm going to play for you for Chaos Corner is the opener to his new album. It's called Narcissus, and it's a song that really does encapsulate that sort of odd, mixed vibe, showcasing a lot of different styles, sounds, and genres, pretty much from start to finish. Enjoy. That was Narcissus by Handycam, who is an artist out of China. This week's submission for Chaos Corner. If you want to hear more of his music, you can check him out on Bandcamp. Handycam is all one word, HANDYCAM. He also has an Instagram, Handycam Official. Moving on with a similar, out there, wild kind of vibe, we're going to hear some nice, heavy, dark, electronic type stuff next. I love this kind of music, and I'm always looking for more of it to play on the show. I personally think there should be way more crossover between sort of alternative music and electronic music. I know there are a lot of bands and artists that have explored that over the years, but for me, it's just really something that goes so well together, and it just makes my brain feel all happy and calm. So yeah, anyway, this project is called Transit Dead. The wording and lettering is all stylized, which is super hard to explain on the radio, but it uses all different letters and sort of Greek-looking letters and things like that, so it looks cool. They have a vibe and an aesthetic, which is always good. And the genre they sort of slot into the most, I would say, would probably be Witch House, if you're familiar with that. You can find them on Bandcamp, and this is what their bio has to say about them. Introducing Transit Dead, a new project from the shadows of Germany's electronic music scene. For 3 years, this act has been crafting a unique take on the Witch House sound, a genre known for its murky, distorted, and ritualistic atmosphere. This isn't about professional polish or mainstream appeal. Instead, Transit Dead focuses on raw, visceral emotion, blending the ghostly echoes of trap beats with the ominous synths of darkwave. The music is a haunting journey through glitch-ridden soundscapes, echoing the feeling of an internet-age seance. Each track feels less like a song and more like a whispered incantation, designed to pull you into a world of electronic occultism. Let's hear a song from them, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about them.
Do it together.
That track was called Grave Digger, and it's by a project called Transit Dead. If you're just tuning in, they're based out of Germany. They're actually quite a new project. All their music has been released this year, but they've been really prolific, releasing EPs every few months. So that track we just heard is off their EP called Hard Life, and that's their second EP. It only came out on October 20th, but since then there's been a further 4 EPs. So that gives you an idea of sort of how quickly they are putting out music. All of their song titles and the EP titles, the lettering is stylized in a similar way to their project name. So it uses unusual letters and symbols, or it's sometimes spelt using numbers. So it all fits in quite well with the aesthetic. But if you search up Transit Dead on Bandcamp, it will come up automatically. You don't need to type it in a weird way or anything like that. So if you liked that track, please go and check out more of their stuff. Right now, we're about to hear from an artist who has already been on the show on a previous episode. A chap who goes by the name of Sleepy Wonder. So it's all one word, and it's spelled Sleepie, Wonder, Sleepy Wonder. The type of music he puts out covers a few different styles. If you're into hip-hop and rap, he's got you covered for that type of stuff. But he also does a garage type of vibe too, indie, and he switches up between different styles. He describes himself as an emerging artist in the hip-hop alternative genre, known for a unique blend of sounds that resonate with a diverse audience. With a steady career trajectory, Sleepy Wonder is currently in the undiscovered stage, steadily building a fan base and gaining traction across various streaming platforms. The artist has recently released music that showcases a distinctive style, drawing inspiration from his favourite 90s garage bands and personal experiences. Sleepy Wonder reveals a raw and relatable persona that connects with listeners on a personal level. Fans will come to expect a truly authentic and engaging journey that captures the imagination and explores the chaos and beauty of the human condition. The track we're going to hear from him is called Sour Patch. It's actually one of his older songs released a few years ago, but he's got loads of new music out on all your usual streaming platforms. He's also got a ton of collabs too with different artists. So if you like your alternative with a bit of hip hop, go check him out. This is Sour Patch.
Nowhere
That was Sleepy Wonder with Sour Patch. Once again, that's all one word, and Sleepy with an IE at the end. You can find him on your usual streaming platforms, and he does have an Instagram under the same name, which is simply Sleepy Wonder. Thanks once again, man, for being on the show. Moving on, we're going to hear about a band called Colossal Mammoth Tusk. It's actually not a band, strictly. It's a one-person project. It's run by a dude called Cameron, who's from the west coast of the United States. And he told me, I do everything for CMT, Colossal Mammoth Tusk. I've been a lifelong metal musician, played drums in touring bands growing up, all independent over the years. I've also always done my own recordings and videos. CMT is no different, but right now it is a solo project online. If things were to gain enough traction, I would make this a full live band. I write all the songs, record all the vocals and guitars, and I produce everything myself. I also make all my own music videos. Lately, I've been releasing one new single with a video at least once a month on my YouTube channel, and I've only just gotten started. Everything is also available on all the major streaming platforms, all driven by the love of music and metal. This guy also told me that he's a sucker for a British accent, apparently. So, tally ho, old chap. We don't all talk dead posh, though, you know. I'm from up north, so we have a different accent than the people down south. And people in the middle of the country have a different accent as well. We don't talk about them. And we don't all know members of the royal family. That's something, whenever I go abroad, they ask me if I know the Queen. Well, you know, she's dead now, so... But I tell you what, if I did know the royal family, I would definitely be exploiting that for my own gains, and probably wouldn't be running an online radio show. Well, actually, I might be, because then I could have really cool royal guests on it, couldn't I? Anyway, the track we're going to hear from Colossal Mammoth Tusk is called Born Again. It's their brand new single. It only came out on Sunday, literally just last Sunday. It's streaming across all platforms, and it also has a music video on YouTube. So Cameron would actually really like to promote his YouTube channel. Actually, that's the one that he's trying to build up the most at the moment. That's actually some good solid advice, to be honest, is work on one sort of social outlet at a time and then really focus your energy on that and then try to spread out from there. So it's so hard to constantly promote across platforms, and you can sometimes end up spreading yourself too thin. But if you like long-form content and you find yourself spending a lot of time on YouTube, then please go and subscribe to Colossal Mammoth Tusk. He posts at least one new song every month, along with a music video, so there's always content there for you to go check out. He is also on Instagram and Facebook, and he's currently working on a brand new song too, so listeners can expect consistent content from him. Cameron said, "My goal is to continue improving in all areas of songwriting, music production, and video editing. Born Again is my latest representation of where I am at." So let's hear it. Damn, that was some cool heavy stuff. I love it. That was Born Again by Colossal Mammoth Tusk. So please search them up on YouTube actually and make sure to subscribe. They constantly have new music coming out complete with music videos.
It's time for this week's
Outcast Anthem.
This week's Outcast Anthem has been chosen for the vibes, the lyrics, and just the overall energy of the band. They're a group called The Sickness Stars, and this is what they told me when they submitted their track to the show. Founded by Chester Illard in 2022 and hailing from Normandy in France, The Sickness Stars is a life project born during the COVID-19 pandemic. Its core mission is to explore the deepest vulnerabilities within any line of thought, whether individual, societal, or existential. Initially rooted in punk rock and experimental sounds, the band self-released their electroacoustic debut album, Into the Pit. Over time, they embraced a darker and more complex identity, drawing inspiration from electro-industrial, post-punk, and avant-garde pioneers such as Ministry, Killing Joke, and Skinny Puppy. These influences come to full expression in their latest single, Ignomaniac, and EP, Mind Disorder, Chaos is Order, a testament to their sonic evolution and ideological legacy. Lyrically, The Sickness Stars seeks to grasp the vast scope of what we call the human condition, exploring themes of hatred, love, and anxiety. Through intense and theatrical live performances, the project confronts these raw emotions and reflects. So far, since their formation in 2022, the band have released one album, 2 EPs, and 1 single. And they have a brand new EP, which has only just come out fairly recently, literally only last week. It's called Axis of Woe Rights. And a bit of background to this. The band recently did a live session, and it was at a university gig, and it ended up getting recorded. The whole show actually got recorded, and it's up on YouTube for you to watch. It's actually a really captivating performance. It starts off where they're reading poetry, and it's what they said in their sort of press release about it being theatrical live performances. It really is that is what comes across. The lead singer is he's a really good performer, and he does some really interesting vocal work. You can tell that he really puts so much into it, and that they've put a lot of thought into making the performance like a whole art piece and not just a gig. This band also have a really cool logo, and they've obviously thought a lot in general about their imagery and about their aesthetic. So the track that we're going to play is off that new EP. It's called Mass Formation Psychosis. And it's got quite a rebellious vibe and feel to the lyrics, which I love, and which is why it sort of stood out to me as a bit of an Outcast Anthem vibe. And it's got some really evil sounding music too. Let's give it a listen.
my totalitarian. I am here, we need to kill during the riot. My garden is my priority. If you want to plant your flowers, we need to kill during the riot. Murderous absurdity. I am not satisfied with your world. We need to make things fair. Searching something, your greatness takes so huge you cannot even see it. See all yours, damn action. The problem is you put now in. Talk fatty, but otherwise you would swear I couldn't be more bothered with you. That's a mass formation psychosis. That's what I want you. So you will not be aware about what you should think. All you wish was simply real. Everything you are somehow were modified. Anything you can, anything you wear, everything you're becoming, and anything you will be were always a favorite story. See all yours, damn action. The problem is you put now away. Talk fatty, but otherwise you I swear I couldn't be more bothered with you. That's a mass formation psychosis. That's what I was you. So you will not be aware about what you should think. If you're afraid of me, there's still a part of me who's is looking your eyes. If you're afraid of this, there's a society that wants you terrified. So you will not be aware about what you should think. So you will not be aware about what you should
That was Mass Formation Psychosis by a band called The Sickness Stars, this week's Outcast anthem. If you like those guys, they have a lot more music out for you to listen to. You can check them out on Bandcamp, Spotify, your usual streaming platforms, and you can also follow them on Instagram. So their Instagram it's just The Sickness Stars Official, and they're on Facebook under the same name. I'm afraid we are almost running out of time for this week's show. Thank you so much for tuning in, but whilst we're still on the air and whilst I still have a bit of time, I'd just like to tell you about a fun little promotion or a little thing that we're running in the build-up to Christmas. So, as you know, Sonic Scout Radio is all about unsigned artists. It's all about helping out unsigned bands and getting them a bit of airtime. We have listeners all over the globe. We have a really high retention rate, so a lot of people listen to the full show. So it gives you a chance to get your music heard by a wider audience than, say, if you were just running some ads. So if you know of a band or an artist, maybe it's your friend or your partner or someone in your family, you can get them a little gift this Christmas, and that can be some airplay on Sonic Scout Radio. So how that would work is as follows. If you would like to give your unsigned artist, friend or family member the gift of their song on the radio, all you need to do is contact me, Outcast Frequency at sonicscoutradio.com, or you can drop me a DM on Instagram, Master of Mischief Official. You tell me a little bit about the artist, you will send me a link to their song on Spotify. I'll give it a listen, and if I think, yeah, this will really fit on the show, then I will get back to you and I'll say, yep, I think it's going to work, I'm happy to play it. And once we get to that point, that's when you can then submit the track officially through Sonic Scout, either through the Sonic Scout Radio app, which you can now download for Apple or Android, and we do encourage everyone to do that because it's probably the easiest way to submit the track to the show, and it's also the easiest way to listen to your favourite shows. Or you can submit it the traditional way on the actual website, and it is $10 for that submission. But we will only take that $10 once your track has been accepted. And the reason we have this small fee is to cover the broadcasting costs, it's to cover advertising, and a little bit goes to us presenters as well, because we do work really hard on these shows. We spend a lot of time finding bands, a lot of time curating the actual show itself. So it's just to give something back to them too. But yes, we would very much love for you to submit your tracks as a Christmas present to someone. I think that would be quite cute and a cool thing to do. But that's it from me. I'm going to let you go and listen to the next show, which I really hope you do. I hope you stick around and listen to whoever's next, because there's a lot of great music on Sonic Scout in general. Okay, thank you, folks.
You've been listening to the Master of Mischief on the Outcast Frequency, broadcasting on Sonic Scout Radio worldwide. Thanks for listening, you crazy freaks. See you all next week.